for joining us at African Bijimba, a channel that brings the details and the informations and the values and lifestyles of African people sharing around the world in a way for us to motivate, to inspire those who are on the journey to fulfilling or attaining their life purposes. Speaking of that, our beautiful message today is we are able to contribute to the success of our economy by supporting, helping, and creating an agricultural environment that will benefit our countries and our continent, Africa. Speaking of agriculture, before we have to proceed, I would like to have a short introduction from you, your work, and what you stand for.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to be part of this wonderful program. As you've said, my name is Councillor Mpumi Edward. I currently serve in the city of Johannesburg in South Africa. I am a politician, but before then, I am a farmer, a lover of soil, a lover of land. I've been in farming for quite a number of years now, and that love of farming is what also I've brought into my political space as I farm also in politics. So I'm a lover of soil, I'm a lover of Africa, I love traveling throughout different African countries. I love Africa, basically.
Thank you so much, that's beautiful. So how did you come to living this dream, your dream of loving the soil and loving agriculture? What motivated you and inspired you to undertake such a journey?
I was so blessed that 23 years ago, I met my husband who was born and grew up in Nigeria, in a village in Nigeria. And when I met him, he was already a talented farmer, a lover of soil as well. And I was also blessed at the same time. I grew up on a farm myself. My parents owned a farm. And I think that's where I actually started to love the entire concept of agriculture. They did animal farming and they did crop farming. So the love of farming started there. But when my husband started farming commercially and, in 15 years back, and I was still employed elsewhere, full time, I then started having that love of farming. I started having the love of actually learning. Because, when you are sitting on the other side, you'll never understand how complicated it is. Hence, it's important that you give yourself time to learn different farming methods. You learn what to farm when and so on. So I think it all started in my home. I'm sitting now, I'm having this interview from my home, and it's unfortunate I can't take you to the backyard and everywhere in my home. I don't keep flowers. We don't actually keep flowers. We don't plant roses here. We plant food. We plant medicinal herbs. So everything that is in our yard is what we eat. We plant fruits. And all these different plants are not only from South Africa, they are from across the continent. And that's the love of soil that I have.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So what had been your greatest challenges, through that journey? Because I know it isn't just easier to just take some seeds. Some of us, when we try with seeds or with even animals, is else they die, is else that thing just comes up. What is the secret?
I think as you go through and you grow as a farmer, it's quite a learning curve that people take for granted. I recall when we started with animal farming, when we started with poultry and we're doing chickens, there was a time where we're starting the business, we didn't understand the methods, we didn't understand the business. And at some point, we lost about 500 chickens at a go because they were sick and we didn't know what to do, So what most people take this, it's like, no, I want to start big. And what I always say to people is that you need to start small so that you learn step by step in terms of what needs to be done. And I'm grateful because in these 15 to 20 years, that's exactly what we've done as Uncle Wiz Farm. We've started very small and we've actually learned throughout the years and actually even passed it onto our children. But that learning phase is very important, and I think it varies. It could take 5 years, it could take more than that, even in some instances. But I'm glad that we went through that process, and now we're at a rate where we've matured fully as farmers.
Which is true. It needs more patience. I think what you have is the beautiful blessing of being patient. If I were to give myself in such an opportunity or such a field, what can I be aiming to have as a benefit?
You know, the benefits vary. And I always say starting is the best solution, is the best medicine, starting. And you don't have to start big. Hence, in the program that I run now as a politician with the political party that is currently housing me, it's promoting backyard farming. So, especially in urban areas, because people in urban areas would always say, I don't have sufficient space. So, what I'm teaching is different methodologies of farming so that you utilize the small space that you have. Even people that are in high rise buildings across urban areas, they can actually farm. There's a lot of benefits in consuming organic food because I promote organic food. So people, for example, that in urban areas, they can actually consume the food that they grow in their yards. And we've got thousands of people around the country that have started doing that through this program that I run, that started planting different foods. I mean, the simple things that you can plant, like cabbage, spinach, all those things are very simple things that you can just plant and be consuming. So they're very beneficiary for your body, what you consume. Because remember, if you go to a store, a big chain store, you don't know how that food was produced. Most of the food is mass production. So if you plant that food at your backyard, at a community space, you know, and you are sure of what you're consuming, that there is no chemicals in that food, it's organic. And actually, I've got some examples of the of the leaves here as we are talking on this subject right now. These are from my backyard, actually. I picked them up just before the interview. This is bitter leaf.
Wow.
Bitter leaf. Can you see?
Yes.
So I've got bitter leaf here. I've got quite a lot of it. So I'm just showing a few leaves. So this is bitter leaf, which has got a lot of benefits, you know. And we're at a process now of processing this, which I think, because my daughter now runs the business, my daughter is doing agro-processing. She's processing this into capsules, into tea, and, you know, so this is bitter leaf. And I've got Saint leaf as well. So bitter leaf has got a lot of benefits. I mean, health benefits. People that are diabetic, it can assist them. People that have got eczema, it helps with the skin as well. So it's very good. I love bitter leaf, you know. And, you know, in African countries, it's also used to cook delicious soups, you know, around African countries. Yes. So, yes, different types of soups, a goosey soup, and you name it, lots of soups. So it's very nice. I actually like this. So we're processing this now into medicinal capsules. Then I've got Saint leaf here. Can you see Saint leaf?
Yes, it's beautiful.
This is Saint leaf.
Some seeds.
Yes, yes, for my garden. This is good for maintenance of eyesight, and it can help you to lower your blood sugar levels as well. The Saint leaf.
Yes. Wow.
So some people also use it for weight loss. It smells divine. It smells good. Weight loss as well.
Yes. Wow.
Okay. So I've got water leaf here. This is water leaf. Very good. Also, it makes delicious soups. There's vegetable soups that you can use it for.
Yes.
And got lots of benefits. So as you can see, all these are greens. I mean, these are all natural herbs, if you may call it, but they've got dual benefits. You can eat them. You can use them for health benefits as well. So as you were asking me, there's a lot of health benefits in doing this at your own backyard, firstly. But also as you grow and you go commercially, then the benefits are larger because you are able to supply in your country or even beyond your country. Currently, we supply a lot of bitter leaf.
Yes.
We supply a lot of bitter leaf to resellers, people that resell, people that prepare delicious meals around South Africa. So we supply this. But what is interesting as well is that this bitter leaf now has opened up a new market in South Africa, whereby traditional healers, because we supply a lot of traditional healers around the country, from KZN, Eastern Cape, Western Cape, that are using the bitter leaf as one of the ingredients to, you know, to heal people of various ills, you know. So they use a lot of bitter leaf as well. So we supply a lot of bitter leaf. Scent leaf as well, we do supply it around the country.
Yes.
And water leaf as well. I know water leaf is one of the crops as well that are very difficult to grow in South Africa, but we managed over the years to produce this, you know. So there's a lot of benefits. As you go commercial, you meet the demand. I mean, we know, for example, that in South Africa, we've got vast land. So one of the advantages when you're commercial is that you can produce in high quantities and you'll be able to supply even beyond this country.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you so much again for sharing all the knowledge. And I'm definitely going to make sure that the next interview, I shall just pay you a visit. Then we can take a look at everything. And I can also grab some of that to share with my family and also just to also heal myself. So that is beautiful. Thank you so much again for all the benefits that you've shared with us through the agricultural field and how it can benefit us as a human being. So, with it said, who inspired you? Who is that person that maybe when you looked up and you said, if I grow up, I want to do something like that. I want to have my own field where I will grow these herbs, where I will heal our people, where I will provide food, where I will try to be contributing to the maintenance of life. Who motivated you? Who is that person?
I think there's quite a number of people that motivate me to actually wake up every day and want to learn more and do more in this space of agriculture. Firstly, my husband is a bigger motivator. He really loves the soil. He inspires me in every way, you know, when it comes to agriculture. He really motivates me. But I think above all that, my greatest motivator actually is the state of affairs in our country, where I see people that cannot afford to have a basic meal on a daily basis, or at least once a week, or even once a day. That one becomes my biggest motivator because it motivates me. What we do is also as Uncle Louise, we donate some of the vegetables, some of the crops to people around here, to soup kitchens and so on. So that becomes my greatest motivator. And I've in this journey, I've actually committed that the skills that are acquired, that I have in terms of agriculture, and the knowledge, I will then pass it on to those masses, thousands and millions of people, so that they're able to fend themselves for themselves. They're able to feed their families and feed themselves. So they're my greatest motivator. I mean, as an African child in Africa, we shouldn't have families, we shouldn't have households that are without a proper meal, that are without food, even a day, you know, because we've got the skills, we've got the land to do so. So we need to pass on the knowledge and the information to others so that they can survive and fend for their families.
Wow, saying that, that leads me to my next questions. So, what qualities or qualifications one needs to have that ability to grow or to adapt to the land and understand how they can plant and consume from the land?
You know, agriculture is a very interesting field because it's more like science. And, you know, we always sit here and wonder, how did our great fathers and great grandfathers do it? Because they were very good in farming. You know, how did they do it? And I think a generation before us sort of took it for granted when those skills were passed on to them. you know. And when people started migrating to urban areas, they lost the touch of those skills and, you know, those different farming methods and all that. So they totally lost touch of that. And really, now that we're here in the urban areas, you don't need a qualification to be a farmer. You just need the will and the time to learn, you know. And there's various channels and methods here in South Africa where people can learn. For example, the program that I'm running gives an opportunity to people to learn, and there's various other programs that are being run for people to learn. So it's just the time and the will to do so, but you don't really need to go to university and obtain a certain qualification, an agricultural qualification, to be able to work the soil.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's so truthful. Sometimes we have to just
and just
yes. No,
so I'm saying just on that as well, just to prove to you that you don't need that. I've got other qualifications, but I don't have a qualification in agriculture.
okay.
I was trained as I studied politics. I've got an MBA. I'm doing my PhD now, not on the same subject, on a different subject, and really I'm doing farming as well. So you don't need a formal qualification. You just need the will to learn and make time to learn that and love what you are doing. Then it will take you far.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the beautiful words that you have shared. And, you know, we have almost come to the end of our interview. So how can our followers, how can people find you? Those who are out there who would like to learn from you, who would like to maybe take you and become their inspiration, how can they find you?
Okay. They can find me on Uncle Wee's website, but it's currently under construction. The information about Uncle Wee's, when you go into Google and you just put Uncle Wee's, you will get all the information that you need, and you will also get all the interviews we've had, all the articles that my husband has done as well online.
What would be your last message to those who have such a dream, but they don't know how to stand, they don't know where to start, or they don't even have a clue on how to stand up and raise their dream to become, you know, to become something that is reachable, attainable? What would be your message to them?
My message is that we are capable, we're able as Africans. Stand up and seek information. It's out there. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it too. So stand up. Let's all stand up for Africa, because we're a great continent as Africans.